All right, we are so excited to introduce today's guest. Not only are they a contestant on Call Me Mother Season 2, but they are also the saltiest seamen of the East Coast. No, not like that. Get your mind out of the gutter. Everybody, please welcome Newfound Lad. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
I am so excited to be here.
Period. So, we have just like a little couple rounds of questions that I would just want to dive right into. I'm so curious. So, let's take it all the way back to the beginning. How did you first get into drag? Were there specific inspirations, anything that really sparked your interest?
So I first was interested in drag way back in 2013 when I first was living in Toronto, but had no interest in learning how to do makeup, so I just didn't ever try it. But then after I got my dance degree, I needed work, and I ended up joining a burlesque troupe.
Yeah.
She's a dancer, you couldn't tell from the show.
Yes, come on, Dan.
We love that for you.
Yeah, so I joined a burlesque troupe, and through that, I started working in nightlife. I was like, oh, I guess I should learn how to do makeup a little bit. And then I was like, I'm seeing all these drag performers getting booked so much more than I am. I need to start adding drag into my burlesque, and then it just evolved from there.
I live. Okay, so she really gave us a 1, 2, 3. He gave us everything.
It was strictly because I just wanted to work more. I was like, I love drag. I want to work in these spaces. I'm gonna diversify my skills so that I can get hired more.
Yes.
I mean, that's definitely smart because I mean, you see people interacting with drag performers who do singing and do dancing and all this stuff a lot more than you just see kind of the performance aspect of things like that. So putting the two together definitely probably made you more, I don't want to say bookable because obviously you were already bookable, but more bookable in the way of that.
Yeah, but it was really only during the pandemic where I took the time to do that. I wouldn't have called myself a drag artist until probably around 2021.
Okay.
Cool. All right.
So I know that's definitely where my love for drag sparked, and Michaela, I think you too. Because we met around that time, you know, bonding over drag shows, and we both kind of looked at each other and were like, are we going to do this? I live for that, honestly.
Yeah, it was definitely...
Rise of the bedroom queen.
I was about to say, definitely the bedroom queen was definitely, both of us, we were bedroom queens to start off with, for sure. So we definitely understand that kind of thing. Now, how did you end up auditioning for Call Me Mother? Because obviously, you said that you didn't really see yourself as a drag performer before, and then now you end up on this show. So how did that happen?
Well, I watched season 1 and absolutely loved it. And when I watched season 1, I saw a place where the drag I was starting to do, the burlesque I was already doing, could potentially fit in. So as soon as casting was announced for season 2, I was like, I'm just going to throw my hat in the ring. I have no idea if they'll take me because I'm still evolving as an artist. And I did get a little DM saying, you should probably audition for this show. So I said, oh, I guess I'm definitely auditioning now.
I live.
So sometimes casting agents look out for talent across the country that they might want to cast.
You're like, if I'm getting reached out to, then might as well, still do it anyways. Even, you were already going to do it at that point, but, now you're like, I have to if they're going to reach out to me, too.
Well,
I'd already been filling it out.
Yeah.
I'd already been doing the application, and I was like, well, I got to put a lot more work into it now.
So you get the call, right? We're accepted. We're going. We hit, we're on set, we're giving. What are our first thoughts meeting all of the girls? Or performers.
Oh my god, there's way too many of us.
Honestly, that was my thought too when I saw how many people had been cast this season.
Going in, I assumed it was going to be 10 the whole time, and I've heard rumors of who was going to be there, and practically everyone I heard of was another white person. I was like, oh my god, they're not casting a majority white cast, please no. And then I saw it was 50 notes, and I was like, okay, this makes sense now. But yeah, it was a little shocking. And the whole time before I met everyone in the hotel, I was trying to count how many doors had things on them. Being like, okay, there's 10. No, there's 12. I think there's more. So you didn't know any of the performers going into it? It was blind?
I knew a bunch of people. Oh, okay, cute. I live.
And I might have. They send you a little email saying if you run into like a mother or another contestant on the traveling to it, don't talk to them. And I was sent from Newfoundland to the Halifax airport, and I saw a cute gay man. I was like, oh, whatever. Go to Toronto airport. The same gay man grabs 2 luggage carts. I'm like, that was
There's
my
a little
Fox.
something.
I was about to say Maya Fox, who was also from the East Coast.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And we immediately were like, I think we're going to the same place.
It was kind of like one of those obvious moments where you're like, I don't want to say this, but I'm also pretty sure it is. Like,
Give a little
She's
Morse code, like.
It's like, girls, I can see the sequins in your box. So like, yep.
Yeah.
oh my gosh. All right, so we get into the room with everybody, and we find out that not only is one person going home, but there are 3 people going home. What were your thoughts when you heard that?
I'm gonna sound delusional, but I was not worried in the slightest.
Bring on the delusion.
I was like,
I am the queen of delusion.
okay, you need to have a little bit of delusion to do drag.
Agreed.
Yeah,
I straight up was
exactly.
like, 3 people go home. Whatever, I'm not going home. Like, I knew that part of it was performance, and performance is what I do. So I was like, I'm gonna knock that performance out of the park. They're gonna pick me. No worries.
Yeah, that was my favorite thing about when you guys were talking in your like little confessionals while you guys were getting ready, and you guys made a point of saying, oh well, the East Coast performers can't go home first, and I was like, oh, don't ever say that. like don't say that.
Oh no. I was like, we jinxed ourselves right there.
It was a curse.
The curse.
But truly, neither myself or Maya, we were both so confident about our abilities as performers.
Yeah.
And we're like, there's no way. Like, this is a performance-based audition. Like, we're gonna get it. And obviously I didn't.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna say anything, but
I mean,
Wait,
you
I
are
go home
talking to
first?
us, so like.
and that was kind of like my next question was like, did you feel prepared for the runway? And I guess yeah, like.
I felt prepared because, like, we watched season 1, obviously, and people got picked on the runway. I think a lot about my looks, but my looks aren't show-stopping like a Kiki Ko or a Hercules
Yeah.
or a Michaela Couture, a Phoenix Black. So going in, I made sure my first look was signature me, exactly what I do in my drag, but I wasn't going to break the bank on it because I was thinking it was going to be like last year. I was like, I don't want to get hooked on my look and then not get to do my talent like Rosie in season 1.
Of course. Totally makes
But
sense.
I guess I didn't have that to worry about after all, and this is where the delusional confidence came in.
But like we said, we love a bit of delusion because like you have to have a little bit of delusion to do drag, so it makes a lot of sense.
Yes, and to do reality TV, like I wasn't gonna go on there and not believe in myself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then
if you don't believe in yourself, what are you doing?
Well, exactly. So then we get into, obviously at that point they weren't allowed to clack their fans for you guys, but we get into the talent portion of things. And what was kind of your mindset when creating your talent number?
As soon as I was cast on like the Zoom call with production, I knew what I was doing for talent. Obviously, when you do it on this show, it has to be royalty-free music, but I've been doing a burlesque number in that outfit since I started burlesque in 2017.
Yeah.
So, like, it was like a no-brainer. I've done that act from Newfoundland to British Columbia. I've done that act in Alaska, Orlando. Like, that act has been performed. I know it's solid. It's a stupid flag reveal. I'm going to get my ass out.
Yeah, period. I love a good little booty moment.
Yeah,
I am
DJ definitely loves that. I mean, I also think it was really funny after you said you were like, did you not see my ass? Should I chew it again? Like, like I was thinking the same thing. Like, did you not see like the bare ass that just came out here? Like, come on.
Yeah. In the confessional, when they asked me to react to not getting a fan, I was like, well, this is all I have to say on that.
Going off of that a little bit, when you didn't get that first fan, how did you feel? Like you were like, what did you do to really like sell to the mothers in tea? Like, was there anything specific you were going for?
Well, what was I going for? TV obviously takes a long time, and I had longer in between not getting that fan and actually doing tea than it plays out on television. So I definitely had my moment of like, oh my god, why didn't they pick me? Because you don't, like, when you don't get a fan, you don't get feedback. So I was just confused because it felt like my performance went really well. And I was like, what is going on? I even like kind of whispered to Maya, I was like, I don't know why they didn't pick me. I'm not sure what's happening. And she's like, don't worry, you'll go kill it at tea. So I went, had my cry, had my moment off camera, collected myself, and prepared myself. I was like, I'm not letting this get to me. I'm going and talking my way out of this.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
that's kind of everything.
Exactly. I mean, we definitely heard like the passion that was in your voice when you were talking in tea time and kind of explaining your side of drag and how it means, like what it means to you to be a drag performer and not to have that kind of set drag, because drag is for everybody. I've always said that. And so like hearing how you were explaining how it's not masculine, it's not feminine, it's you, like it's just you, that's just how it is. And I think that resonated with a lot of people, because they definitely can relate to that kind of thing as well. Not even just like the drag kind of side of things, but just that idea of the not masculine, not feminine kind of thing as well.
Yeah, and like obviously there's 15 of us to be fit into 64 minutes. So like what I said was a little more expanded than that.
Yeah.
And there was a couple puns on my name thrown in there too, but like I'm so happy with what I said in that moment. I feel like I really encapsulated it, and the judges did say wow from it.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Getting that reaction after I finished speaking, I was like, okay, knocked that out. They're gonna pick me.
You know what's funny about that is when we were watching the episode, I said we were trying to decide who we thought was gonna kind of make it through for the 3 people, and I said to DJ, I was like, I think Newfound Lad has it. Like I think so. Like just based off of your conversation too. And then when they didn't pick you, I was just like, wait, like what's going on here, kind of thing. It was a little bit shocking on my end as a viewer, just kind of being like, I feel like that was a really good. Like, I thought you sold yourself really well. I thought there were a few of you who did that really well, but I was like, you were one of them who I thought did a very good job.
And they actually asked us individually a bunch of questions that wasn't able to make it into the cut. And, like, everything I felt like I said in tea, I was like, I said everything I could have said. Like, genuinely, I did not have an ounce of disappointment in what I showed in that episode, whether it was talent, look, or tea, because I did everything I could have, and it just wasn't it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's okay.
It was
good. Certainly it for us.
Yeah, certainly. It was it for us. We would have picked you, so there you go.
I appreciate it. Well, you picked me to go first this week.
We did! See, look at us go. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is a little bit of a controversial question, but we're going to ask it anyways. If you were given the choice to pick which house you wanted to be in, which house would it have been and why?
Going into the competition, I was 100% gunning for House of Glass, Crystal. I felt like with Crystal's kind of drag, with the kind of drag she surrounds herself with, I thought she had the biggest chance of understanding what I was doing and helping me elevate what I was doing, because I felt like there's always place to learn and everything, but what I needed to learn most was makeup and aesthetic, because that's something I struggle with more. And I was like, Crystal is the right person to teach me these things. But then when I was there, I felt a lot of warmth from Peppermint during tea. So I was just like, honestly, whoever wants me, I'm happy to learn from any of these artists.
Yeah. I loved when Peppermint went through and like picked out everybody and explained why she thinks that they would be good for this, or I could help you here, or this could be that kind of thing. I felt like that was like a very nice thing to do as well.
That woman knows how to make TV. The way that she started with Champagna, then she went to me, skipped Justin and went to Kingchella, and then came right back around to Justin. I was just like, God damn it, she's good. This is such a good TV moment right now.
Well, when she said the thing about Justin, of course, because Justin is one of my hometown performers, like my heart was like racing. I was like, okay, you're saying that you don't know if you can help them, and then I was like, please tell me that's just because you're just gonna go for it anyways. And then of course that's what happened, and I was like, oh. Because it was like a little mini panic attack. But like, that makes good TV, right? Because that keeps people watching and what they want to do. So definitely understandable.
She knows what she's doing.
She does. She's got it.
Did you feel intimidated by any of the mothers at all? Like, were they like sitting there like...
Yes and no. Like, I obviously had that confessional moment where I said I'm scared of Crystal. And then called her painted on bitch. But I also did film that after I'd already been eliminated, so I was like, I'm gonna call her a bitch now.
Yeah.
You're like, yes. It's fair. I can do it because you didn't pick me.
Yes and no. like Peppermint is so stunningly beautiful and such a presence in person. So like there was a little bit of intimidation, but when you're on that stage, it feels so far away from where the judges are. So it's just like it's such a distance. It's hard to even feel that intimidation, you know?
Right. So we have this amazing premiere of Call Me Mother. What is next for Newfound Lad? What can we expect?
I'm honestly just gonna keep kicking ass in the way that I have been. Like
Here.
I had a great career in burlesque and drag so
Yes.
far, and that's still only the beginning of all of it. Like I
Yes.
said earlier, I performed literally coast to coast within this country already. So I'm ready to like keep on doing that, keep on touring, and keep getting my face out there to people and my ass out there to people.
I love that.
Will we see? Can we get a little American something?
I would love to if someone wants to bring me there.
Okay, fair enough.
It's the thing of like I went to Alaska to headline a drag show, a burlesque show in January, and like it's a great time going, but you also need a visa to go.
Yeah.
So
That is very true.
Yeah.
That is very, very true.
Talk to your promoters,
Like, I would love
people.
to
Get
perform.
Newfound Lad where you want them, because that just makes more
Yes,
sense.
Give me a
people,
visa.
listeners, let's get Newfound Lad to the U.S., please.
Yeah.
I performed in New York back in 2018 or 2017.
Oh,
I'm like,
Slay.
I want to go back.
New York is such a vibe. Not like
really
I have
is.
a little bit of a bias or anything.
Not at all.
But
No, but that city has an energy.
I agree. Okay, so we're ending each of the interviews with this question because we think that it's really important. So both of us are baby drag performers, and we just wanted to know, what advice do you have for baby drag performers?
Advice for baby drag performers. I would say don't be afraid to do the art you want to do. Like we're so inundated with all of these shows, all of these different things, and you feel like you need to be in that cookie cutter box, but you can do drag in whatever way you want to do. Like I'm not a drag queen, I'm not trying to be a drag queen, and obviously it didn't quite work out for me on the show, but I still love the art I do, and I'm gonna keep doing it. So do the art you want to do.
Period. I'm living. Okay, so with that being said, this is your time. Where can we find you? What are your socials? Give us all of that good stuff.
You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Newfound Lad TO, because I used to live in Toronto, but I'm back home in Newfoundland now. I also have a website where you can buy my merch.
Yes.
Oh my
If you
god,
live in Canada,
yes.
I don't know how to ship things to the States or how much that's going to cost, so it's only Canada right now. But it's very cute.
Kayla, merch you can buy, finally.
I was about to say merch I can actually buy, because I can never buy any of the US ones because they only ship to the US. So
Kayla, I'll bring you a shirt to Vancouver if you
Oh
want.
my gosh, I would love
shipping.
one. Yes, I want one. Please bring me one. I would love that. Oh my goodness. All right, so I think that's all the time we have today, but we just want to thank you so much for coming on the podcast. We really appreciate it, and we hope that whatever you do in the future is going to be wonderful and successful for you.
Thank you so much. I can't wait to listen to the podcast every week.
Yes.
We love that. All right, thank you so much. We are so excited to introduce today's guests. They bring the sex, they bring the body, and they are a contestant on Call Me Mother Season 2. Everybody, please welcome Kingchella. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, baby. I'm so excited to be here and talk all the tea, girl.
All the tea. We love to hear it. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's start back at the beginning of Kingchella here. So how did you get into doing drag?
So I started drag by honestly not knowing that I wanted to start drag. Basically, I used to love going to drag shows and watching queens perform and fell in love with the art. Like I obviously love Drag Race and everything involving the fandom. So being an avid consumer and dragness, I was like, oh my god, this is cute. And then basically my life took a turn, and obviously, I mean, COVID affect that too, and was like, what the I don't know if we're gonna fuck it, I'm gonna do it. I already said it. Well, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. So I basically said, let me try this out. And then from when COVID started to now, I've been doing drag, and it's been such an amazing experience.
That's such an incredible journey, like especially because I think through COVID everybody was kind of feeling the same thing and in like I need that kind of creative outlet because we were all stuck in our houses and those kind of things and so being able to do that and kind of building your little drag persona and journey through that super fun.
It was crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so through that, how did you end up auditioning for Call Me Mother?
So I wasn't going to audition, like, periods. My drag goals when I first started was like, first of all, bitch, I need to get this shit together. I need to be a perfect little being. I need to look good. I need to look sexy. I'm trying to be that girl. So I had this plan of like, okay, develop Kingchella, get a regular show, do open stages, like all the like the stuff, and then basically I want to say, like a few months into me starting drag, I got a message from one of the producers on Call Me Mother saying, or not producers, but like one of the people who work with Go Button, and was like, you should audition. And I'm like, I don't know. So then basically I was like, fuck it, why not? And then that's all she wrote. Like, crazy.
Yeah, that's absolutely crazy. There were a couple of people that we've interviewed who said the same thing. Like they got a reach out from for a producer or someone from the place, and they were like, "Well, okay, I guess I'll do it. Like, let's just kind of like see what happens." And then they ended up on the show. It's kind of funny. I mean, if someone reaches out to you, I feel like it's more of like a push towards actually doing it than if you were just kind of looking at it. So.
Yeah, and well, at the time I was starting, like I was probably like under a year of doing drag, so I was still so fresh and so new, and like low key, I was like, "Yo, is this spam? Like, what kind of bot on Instagram is going on? Like, who's trying to get my social security number? Like, no, ma'am." So it was just like I've done thus far with my drag journey has been honestly like now thinking of it and like just I don't know because imposter syndrome boots girl it's ugly and it really f's you up.
Yeah.
Thinking of the amount of stuff I've accomplished in the time that I've been doing drag, like I've been doing drag officially for a year now. When we started filming, it was like 9 months into my drag journey. So like just to be not only on one TV show, but like 2 TV shows, hosting X amount of events, having a residency, like Kingchella, like a lot of people sleep on that bitch.
Yeah.
And you know what? Let them, because bitches are still talking about me anyways.
That's exactly it. Like everybody's talking about you, so if they're talking about you, that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we get the call that you're going to be on Call Me Mother, and you arrive and you guys step out onto that carpet, out of that car. And what was your like first thought stepping out onto the set for the first time?
Girl, I was so fucking excited, bitch. I tried so hard not to shake ass as soon as I stepped on that fucking red carpet, bitch. But you know I had to shake this fucking fat ass, bitch. But you know what's so funny that they didn't put in is that so when we got in, they like it's like a car, you know how like the car and we come out and all of that.
Yeah.
I went, thank you, Mr. Uber, 5 stars, and then I left. You know the part where I go like this.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "You can't do that." I was like, "What do you mean? What do you mean I can't do that? I'm gonna be shaking my little tits, and you tell me I can." But apparently they included it, and then I'm so sad they didn't include the Uber part because I was so honestly, bitch, I'm so funny.
Honestly, that is humor. Like that is perfect humor, and it's unfortunate they didn't include it, but they probably would have had to like do like a sponsorship or something with them in order to get Uber to allow you to say that. So,
Girl, I would love a sponsorship from Uber.
oh my
Uber,
gosh,
come
Uber
here.
sponsor Kingchella, please.
Mhm.
We need it. We need it. They need to
I'm a
be.
passenger princess, girl.
Yeah,
so
exactly. They need to be
I
in
like
a
to be-
commercial, and they need to just step out and say that. Like, oh, perfect.
Ooh,
See,
oh
I'm
my
a
God,
business
Uber-
person. I'm thinking.
Mm.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so we get into the room with all of the other contestants, and we find out that not only one, two, but three people are going home. What was your thought when you first heard that?
I'm not going home.
You know what's funny is Newfound Lad said the exact same thing.
I'm not going home. I'm not going home, bitch. You see this fat ass? It's meant to be on the tilly. So yeah, yeah, that was my first initial thought of me. I'm not going home. One of these other bitches are going home. But we know how that.
We know how that ended up, but we'll get to that in a bit. All right. So then we get to the runway, and the runway was just kind of so you guys could show off your style and stuff like that, and the mothers weren't able to clack their fans yet. So how are you feeling going into the runway? Were you ready for it?
Yeah, exactly. Couldn't clock the fans.
It was a new thing for this
runway.
year. Crazy.
Yeah, I was like, bitch, what? It's also because the thing is that like in person and then drag on like on TV, two completely different things.
Yeah.
And like in that moment, like there was things that happened on stage that I was like, oh fuck, like I was so in my head about it. But like now seeing it on the screen, I'm like, she ate. Like there's obviously some things about my runway I was like, you could, but also at the same time, I'm very happy with how I look because I look stunning. And you know, being a plus size person, like the thing is that like people think plus size people are just funny and just like I mean, bitch, I am funny, but like it's one of those things where like plus size people aren't in the realm of fashion and fashion forward things and representing sex and all those things. So I'm glad in what I gave. That's what I gave. You know, I gave sex, I gave body, I gave fashion. Like, I don't know. Yeah, that's what I was thinking during the runway.
Absolutely. So then we get to the second part, and that is the talent portion. And what was your mindset when you created your talent? Because I thought it was camp, a little bit of chaos, a little bit of camp. But I want to know what went behind your mind. Like, I'm going to create this crazy fruit salad moment.
Yeah, well, the thing is that because I am a stunning queen and because I wanted to showcase so many sides of me, like camp, comedy, fashion. So I was like, okay, how can I give a taste of this to the judges so they know who I am? So I was like, okay, why not make fun of my identities that I have and do a mukbang? Originally, it wasn't going to be like that. It was just going to be me being sexy and all that stuff. But like, how can I do sexy, funny, and then how can? Because the thing about mukbang, bitch, people, it's like it's weird because there's like the community that's like overly sexualizing mukbangs, and then also the like just like people just stuffing their face with food. So I was like, okay, wait, this is a gag. What if I just don't eat it? Like, like why? What? Like it's a mukbang that I don't eat, you know. So with my talents, there was a risk because doing something like that, being myself, and then also just like the amount of shit that like happened in that moment, it was definitely chaotic. But like, I want people to know that like I'm fucking chaotic. I am stupid. I am funny. Like I honestly, after I did my talent, I left that stage feeling so fucking good. And like I didn't even care if a fan didn't clock me. Like, bitch, I clocked myself. Like, what?
That's
and like,
iconic.
yo, the moment where I was like, come on, like that's innovation.
The ending where you were like, if you liked it, I'm Kingchella, and if you didn't, I'm Peppermint. And I was like, oh my gosh, the gall you have to say something like that in front of everybody. Like, that just gave your personality away, period, because it's just obvious that, like, you had no, like, qualms about anything in that point. You were like, I'm gonna say it, and it's gonna come out of my mouth, and here it is.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
Oh my gosh. So unfortunately we don't get any fan clacks for that performance, but you know, iconic performance, so that's okay. So you're going into tea time. What was your mindset like going into tea time? Did you feel like you were ready to sell yourself to them?
I mean, I feel like this whole competition, I was ready to sell myself, period. Like, from the jump with my runway, like, I had to sell myself in the best way. For talent, I had to sell myself because it's the only time we get fans. So, getting a fan during talent was not a big deal for me. But in this moment of tea, I know I'm really good at speaking to people and making people like. So I was confident going into this that like me representing all the diverse communities I have with me walking through this world and everything I'm gonna say, like I thought I was gonna get a fan, but I don't know. But like it's so weird because in that moment when I was sitting there and like talking to the judges, I really did feel a moment with Peppermint. And it's bittersweet because like yes, I didn't get a fan, but like I'm glad I got that moment with such an icon and just like if I were to stay on the show, I think Peppermint definitely would have been the choice I would have gone for.
That's great because that was going to be my next question. I was going to ask which house you would have picked, but obviously you would have picked Peppermint if you were given the choice. So
entering the competition, I was going to go with Glass just because of aesthetically, like, I'm a grungy bitch. I'm emo. Like, I'm punk. You know? So it was one of those things where I also feel like being a person of color, also being plus size, and Crystal being a one type. I'm pretty sure she's Caucasian.
I think so.
I'm pretty sure she's Caucasian, and like just like the different intersectionalities that we have, like it was one of those things where I was like, okay, maybe that we can learn from each other, and she can teach me something about my aesthetic. And then it wasn't until like slowly doing the talent and the like having the conversation, like the tea with everybody, I was like, hold on, like Peppermint might be the one for me just because of like she said, like we relate on so many different experiences of being full figured and being POCs and just like yeah, I don't know. I always think about I'm like, what if Peppermint was my mother? What if? But you know what? I'm hoping that the universe will bring us together again because I want to be able to say to her like those words that you did say to me on stage hits in the best way possible because being a person of color in this world, in this industry, we don't have representation. And from an icon like that to like be almost like it, I don't know if it was like the feeling of passing the baton, but like somewhere around the lines of like, I see you and I see what you're doing and you're amazing was just so cute.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely felt that too. Like, your speech, I think, resonated with a lot of people in the way that you were talking about representation and things like that. And I think that both of you have that in common and you guys would fit really well together. So I definitely understand.
Oh my God. I fucking know, bitch.
Totally. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we finished this wonderful premiere, but what is next for Kingchella?
Girl, you're asking me? Shit. Oh yeah.
It's a question.
Like If you have an answer, let me know. Because I'm also at the point, like, my drag accomplishments and goals have fast forward tenfold. Like, I didn't think I was going to be on TV until, like, 4 years from now, 2 years from now. Girl, I did that in quarter of the amount of time. Like,
Yes, you did.
what? So I do plan on just there's so much content I have for you guys for this season, which I'm very excited about. And I do plan on just being the bad bitch I am and representing for all the big gals, the POCs, the people who just feel unseen because I know what it's like, walking through this world and walking out in public and like people just like disregard you and it's like it's a feeling of why can't you see me, why don't you see me, and it's just like fuck that, like fuck that, like I don't need you to see me. I'm gonna make myself be seen and I'm gonna make myself be heard, and if you don't like it, that's a you problem, girl. That's a you fucking problem.
That's exactly it. Like, totally. Everybody is so quick to judge in situations nowadays. And I think that we don't take the time to really realize that, like, everybody is a person. Like, everybody is someone. Everybody has feelings. Like, that is just how it is. And I think with today's social media presence and stuff like that, people just kind of forget, like, they hide behind the screen and they don't really think about what they're putting out there for everyone, but there's another person on the other side who's reading that stuff too. So like,
listen, girl, I have something else I want to say about that.
Go for it.
Okay, all right. I got it in my notes because I was like, you know what? I need to get this done up because it's really affecting me. So I know that in this industry and being in the spotlight, there's going to be the good and the bad and criticism and stuff like that. Like, I am so, like, my whole journey being a plus size, like, out of drag too, like, I face this stuff. I've faced people being fat phobic, being homophobic, being racist, etc. But it's one of those things where if you're giving a critique, people need to understand that, like you said, there is somebody else behind that critique that you're saying. Like, some people just say things just to say it, and it's the way you deliver it. Because a lot of critiques I feel like are attacks, and especially in the quote unquote gay community, like, y'all bitches read each other, and it's like, you don't even know the bitch. How are you reading her like that? Like, if you're her best Judy, go ahead, read the girl for Phil, but you don't know her. And then the way you're saying it's mean and it's hurtful. I was on YouTube looking at the comments, and this is the thing. I think this is something I'm obviously working on as a person, and I feel like this is normal behavior for like human beings. But it was one of those things where like I've gotten thousands and thousands of like positive reaffirmations and comments and being like, "You're robbed," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know, bitch," and it's like, and like these positive comments obviously outweigh the latter, the negative. But for some reason, some of these negative comments have like just like really just like are just like and I'm like, why am I latching onto these comments when I know who I am, I know what I'm capable of, and I'm a fucking icon. Like, so I think what people need to understand, especially with the fandom of Drag Race and drag, is that like you don't do what I do. Maybe think before you speak and try to say it in a way that's like not an attack. And this is also biased because anything anybody says could be in a quote unquote attack. But it's also one of those things like, if you have nothing nice to say, don't fucking say it, bitch. You haven't been doing this for who knows how long. For you to be saying things around the lines of like almost bullying, like come on now, like grow the fuck up. You're also behind the screen, like
yeah. Well, and we tried very hard in our podcast to make sure that we had some positivity towards every single person, because drag is an art form and art is valid in every single way. And we made sure to say that at the beginning of our thing, that we are not here to judge them on their art. We are here to judge them on how their art relates to the competition, because art is subjective. Not everybody's going to love everything you do. But in the case of our podcast, like we're here to recap and to review and kind of give our opinion on it, but that doesn't mean that our opinion is what everybody thinks in that kind of way as well. So
and everybody's entitled to their opinion. It's just, I think the world we live in thinks things in such a negative light, and that negative light is not like the nicest negativity, or just like, I don't know, like, I don't know. Some people, and this is why I've always said this, you know. You want to hear this philosophy, Michaela?
Yes, I do. I love philosophy. Tell me it.
Okay. It's kind of a little bit confusing, but it makes sense to me.
Okay.
So it's going to go with my fantasy, okay? So, wait, how... I'm trying to remember.
That's okay.
It's like, okay, so... Correct? You got that, right?
Oh, wait,
if I don't
you cut out for a second. Try again.
If I don't know you, whatever I'm saying resides with you, whose problem is it? Does that make sense?
It makes sense. No, I love that.
Right? And like sometimes what that's like, even with what's happening with the show in the comments, I actually should be taking that in consideration. But it's also applicable to my art too, you know? Like if you don't like my art, then why is it affecting you so much? You know? I don't know you, bitch. I don't know you from nowhere.
Exactly. They say that if you don't like something, then just don't watch it. It's like a TV show. If you put a TV show on and you're like, I don't like this, you turn it off. You don't just sit there and spew comments and things like, oh, I hate this is terrible, kind of stuff like that. Like nobody needs that negativity. Like it's just not it's not helping anybody in this world. So we don't need it. It's not there. Don't do it. Simple.
Listen to Michaela, everybody. Wise gal. Wise gal.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so we're ending each interview with this specific question. And for myself and also my drag sister, who is my co-host on this, we are both baby queens. And we just want to know what kind of advice you have for the baby queens in the community.
I just want to first of all give you guys hugs, because I know what it's like starting off doing drag as a baby. Like, it's not easy. You know, there's even moments where you're like, should I be doing this? Okay, I'm working.
All right, go again.
Yeah, just like I know what it's like. So first of all, I just want to like hug you guys and just let you know that like you putting yourself out there is brave enough already. Just keep doing what you're doing. Like I walked through this world with so many, like I say, so many. And this sounds like a fucking broken record, but I'm gonna say it because bitch, this is the tea, and this is what the world is right now. I walk around with so many different intersections, and like I walk into spaces. That's it. But you make yourself be known, whether it's you're the most obnoxious bitch in this room, or you're the most humble bitch. People will see that, you know? And you don't necessarily have to follow the status quo to make it, to be an icon. People were like, you need to do this, you need to follow this, you shouldn't do this. I said, you know what? No. I started booking myself before I got gigs. So I went outside of the norm to do that stuff. I've also created a lane for myself. Create your own lane. Think of something that's so unique and different and that speaks to you, and keep fighting for that. And never take no as an answer, because you as a person existing in this world is enough. So don't take no for an answer. Always.
I love that. That's such great advice, and I'm definitely going to take that. I mean, I'm the same way. I actually did my first live show was one that I created with a theater company that I worked with, and it was to be able to show not only that I could do drag, but also I wanted to show everybody who wasn't getting to see the drag scene and specifically the Vancouver scene, because that's where I'm based, I wanted to show them that there were all different types of drag. It wasn't just one thing that everybody was seeing. So I had kings, I had performers, I had everybody, anybody you could have probably had. I had trans performers. Like, it was fantastic. It was such a cool show and such an experience for me to be able to do something like that. And it was because I wasn't getting like any chances, because I'm a female who does like alien thing drag. So there's not as much opportunity for me, especially as a baby queen, to kind of break into the industry. And so I made my own way to do that. And it was important to me to do something like that. All right. Yay. So I think that's all the time we have today, but where can everybody find you on your socials?
So you can find me on Instagram at Kingchella. That is KINGCHELLA. Same with TikTok, same pronouncing, whatever, same spelling. And then, Twitter really fucked me up because somebody already took my name. So it's Kingchella with 3 L's.
Oh my goodness. It's okay. We couldn't fit our whole name on Twitter, so we're just not straight pod on Twitter. Like, it doesn't make sense.
I know, but whatever. And then if you're in the East End of Toronto or Ontario, I do have monthly shows in Ajax. So any Durham girlies out there, any East Enders, come see me shake my fat ass and let's party.
Yes, everybody go see Kingchella. It's important. We'll get you to Vancouver at some point, I'm sure.
Girl, I'm going to be all over the world.
You better come to Vancouver. I want to see that ass shaking. I'm excited.
I want to come to Vancouver. I want to come to Montreal. I want to go to Winnipeg. I want to go to Winnipeg.
Just do a whole cross-country trip. Like, just
That's what I want to do.
I love that.
You know what? That's the next key for Kingchella. We're going to do a tour. Go to the States. And then the States is going to be like, whoa, Kingchella's lit. And then I want to go to, like, I don't know, fucking Dubai or something and be like, oh, bitch, it's lit here.
Gonna tour the world. It's gonna happen. I see it happening.
Yeah, girl. I'm gonna go to Atlantis. Like down under in the sea. That's how famous I'm gonna be, bitch. This fat ass is gonna go all the way to Atlantis.
I love it. I can't wait to see it. So I hope that everything that you do in the future is successful and exciting and fun for you. And we can't wait to see what you do.
I know, same to you. And you know what? As a baby queen, from one baby queen to another baby queen, you're going to do great things.
Thank you so much. And thank you again so much for being on the podcast today.
Of course. Right. Have a good day.
Bye.
All my girlies, gays, and theys, please pop a bottle for the fashion slut princess of Toronto, Champagna.
Oh my god, hey.
Hey.
Lol, I love that intro. Okay, so just off the top, it's Champagna. We'll just get it correct for everybody.
Champagna.
I knew that. I said that.
Lol. That's okay. Crystal kept on saying Champagna, so it's okay.
Champagna.
Okay. Perfect.
Oh my goodness.
That's so funny. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Doing lovely. Yes. Yeah. How are you? Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's beautiful in Toronto today. It's like 11 degrees. So, wow. What an abundant day.
Awesome.
Alrighty. So we have just like a couple of questions that we've just, prepared, and let's just get right into them. So even before all of this Call Me Mother, let's take it right back to the beginning. How did you first get into drag?
Very nice place to start. Oh God, you're bringing me back. Stop killing me. Let's see. Okay, so I moved to Toronto to become an actor, and it wasn't really happening at the time. Sorry, I was already an actor. I didn't move here to become an actor.
Oh, okay.
But I had been hanging out with a bunch of drag performers, and one year they kind of recognized that I was really creatively pent up because I just wasn't expressing my art at all. And so I ran into them on the street one day, and the wonderful Judy Virago asked me, who's like a Toronto icon, she now lives in New Zealand, asked me if I wanted to perform at their cabaret, and I was like, yeah, I'd love to sing. I haven't done that in a second. And then she was like, oh, do you want to do it as a boy or a girl? And I was like, is this my Hedwig moment? I think I'll try it, not as a boy. And then that was from there, that was just kind of it. So I performed at the House of Bills, a trash cabaret, family trash cabaret, and then from there it was like
I'd like to say you never find drag finds you, and once it does, there's no turning back.
Absolutely. Yeah. So through that, how did you end up auditioning for Call Me Mother?
Oh, well, this little thing called the pandemic came along, and again, I was just really creatively pent up. Like, I wasn't doing anything, so I kind of was teetering on quitting drag for a second. Now that I look back at it, I realize that's just like 2 years of lockdown pandemic brain. And so I kind of applied because I was like, okay, well, I just kind of am looking for a little extra oomph under my butt, or even just some guidance, because I'm a little lost right now. There's no performing, and so that's what kind of the impetus was.
Awesome.
Okay. So you get the call for Call Me Mother. The cast is announced, and we hit the gorgeous purple carpet. What are your first thoughts when you see all of the performers?
Oh my god, it was so wild. It was so wild. Like, reality TV is really funny, but it was really cool. Like I don't know. Okay, we're just gonna keep on referring back to the pandemic because that was like the time of year it was. Yeah. It was really exhilarating because, like, honestly, the lockdowns in Toronto, I think we had like the longest in the entire world, which is ridiculous. And so it was just really nice to be around my people again. It was so nice. Like, sometimes I have a tendency when I'm not around people for a long time of like getting in my mind and being like, they all hate me. But that's very not the case. So it was just really nice to be around queer people again, honestly. I was very like, oh my god, yay, here we are.
These are my people. I'm finally back with everybody who gets me, who understands me.
I was so excited. Like, if you look back at the episode, like, the first 5 minutes is just me pulling faces, like left, right, and center. Like, I was so excited to be there.
Oh my gosh! So you guys get into the room, and you find out that there is a gag happening. There's not going to be one person, not 2 people, but 3 people going home. What were your thoughts when you heard that?
Well, it's not going to be me.
You know what? That's a running thing with the 3 people that we've interviewed. I'm just saying. Everybody was thinking it.
Sucks to be the 3 people that go home. That was going through my mind.
We got a bit of delusion, and I love it. Like, that's exactly it.
That's hilarious. Oh my God. A healthy amount of delusion comes with the territory.
Exactly. Gotta have a little bit of delusion to do drag. That's how it works.
Can you even call yourself a drag performer if you're not delusional?
Exactly.
That's fair.
If you don't have mental health issues,
If you don't have daddy issues, can you even call yourself a drag queen?
Oh my god, if there's any sugar daddies watching, hi, I'm Champagna. I'm sliding into the DMs.
Period.
Started, so, get on those.
The call out for the sugar daddy.
Tracer, I live. Okay, so after the 3 people elimination reveal, did you feel ready for the runway?
Oh my god, totally, yeah. I was so excited for the runway. Like, the first runway, not the talent. Yeah.
The first runway, not the talent?
Not the talent.
Fashion slut princess of Toronto, I was more than ready. I was so excited to just pound out that runway a little bit.
Yeah.
And it was so much fun. Like, I love walking the runway. It never gets old.
Yeah. So what about the talent?
Oh yeah, I was ready for the talent too. I was really excited for the I was excited, like, the runway was very like an outfit that I've had for quite some time. And I was like, I'm just going to show, classic Champagna.
Right.
This is what, like, Toronto audiences has come to love. And now I was also really poor at the time, so I was like, I'm not purchasing another outfit for this. The rest of the world can just fall in love with what I already have.
Yeah.
But the run with, like, the talent, though, I was so excited because I sewed that all myself, and I was like, oh my god, this is, like, pretty much the first full ensemble that I've, like, sewn myself and, like, fully curated, and I was, like, throwing to some, like, Schiaparelli references.
Yeah.
I was so excited.
Okay.
So I was like, I lived. It was so much fun to, like, prance around with that little trans flag.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Just going back into the talent, like, what was your mindset when creating your talent for the show?
Okay, so like at the time I was really into like uplifting music, you know, like we were coming out of the pandemic, so like I was listening to a lot of like Tonight Tonight by the Smashing Pumpkins or
Oh my god, yes.
like Happy Days by Barbara, and like so I was like, oh yeah, I really just want to like sing something that's really inspirational that everybody can get behind. And then when you're doing television shows on a budget, like there's this wild thing, like getting big time music is actually really fucking expensive in film and television.
Yeah.
And getting the rights and like paying them out continuously for every time it airs. So we had to go through this like music library of like no like royalty free music.
Royalty free.
Yeah, royalty free.
Oh girl. Oh girl.
So I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna sing. I don't connect to any of these songs. And then finally, like this one popped up, and I was like, okay, I can get behind these lyrics. So yeah, did that answer your question? I kind of forget. What it was.
Yeah, it answers the question. We were just asking kind of what the mindset was behind it, but that's exactly it. Like,
oh yeah, totally. That was it.
Totally.
Okay, so after talent, no fan clacks, unfortunately, which moves you on to tea. What was your strategy to pitch yourself to the judges?
Oh, my superpower is my heart and my ability to like really connect with people. So I was really excited to do that. Like when I didn't get a fan clack, I think there was about process of like 3 minutes where I was like, oh fuck my life, oh Jesus, but then like so proud of myself for like turning that around and being like, actually, there's only abundance. Like I'm actually so lucky that the first time, I get to sing in 3 years is in front of these icons, and like what a great opportunity that is. There's nothing bad in this situation. So like once I kind of like sorted that out in my mind, I was just really excited to like talk to them, you know, and like connect with them and get to know them. I think that is a pretty rare opportunity with those kinds of icons, you know?
Yeah, well, we were saying that we liked the fact that you kind of went to each of them and was like, this is why I feel like I would fit here, and this is why I feel like I would fit here, because I feel like some of them didn't really, like we were saying, we don't think they really sold themselves. They just kind of, wow, DJ, nice, just saying names, but we just felt that there were a few of them who just kind of like went the way of like, well, whatever is gonna happen, it's gonna happen kind of thing, and you had that different kind of mindset of like, here's why I would fit with you, Crystal, and here's why I would fit with you, Peppermint, and here's why I'd fit with you, Barbita. And I think that allowed them.
Eye on the prize.
Yeah, you had the eye on the prize. You were like, I got this. You're like, I got this.
But
here's why. Yeah, totally. No, absolutely.
Really good.
Okay, so unfortunately,
it was really nice too, because like, oh sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. No, you can go ahead.
No, it's fine.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say there was a lot more too that didn't air. That was like really cool to like. We each had a lot more time with each mother. Yeah, so that was really cool.
The curse of reality TV.
I know, right?
Yes. So
you never know how they're gonna edit it.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it, though. Reality TV, it gets edited, and sometimes things get twisted, and sometimes things that you wanted to get on don't get on, and all this stuff.
Totally.
So you never know what's gonna end up happening.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, you don't get picked to be on one of the houses, which is so sad, but wah, wah, wah. But we're gonna ask the controversial question: if you had gotten all 3 fans, who would have you picked? Bill Set. Period.
Bill Set. Okay.
That was quick. That was like the quickest answer.
Yeah, that was.
I was like, I know what question you're asking me. Bill Set. Actually, you know, like, yeah, my first pick always was Bill Set. I think Peppermint is amazing, and like, I think that we would have had a really great time in each other's house, and like, really been able to connect a lot to each other. And then my second pick was Crystal, because not so much anymore, but like I used to be really filthy in a lot of my performances and trashy, and I was like, oh yeah, Crystal, and there's still an element of that sometimes in my slutty performances, but I was like, Crystal would really, a lot of comments I get are that like, from, well, straight people, any form really. But
Exactly.
We agree with that.
Like you really get down to drag, and straight people are like, ew. But like I get comments a lot being like, oh well, we don't know how to sell you because sex, and so I was like, oh, Crystal would really help me with that.
Yeah.
Because obviously she's raunchy and has the platform that she has, and is like at the level of fame that she has. I was like, oh, she would really be able to help me with that.
I live for Crystal's raunchiness. I do enjoy a good,
That's great.
a tasteful slutty performance.
I'm a full blue kind of girl, so like go all the way or go home. You know? Don't give me that tasteful shit, but like.
Okay.
I just watched like a performance of hers where she like sniffed a condom wrapper.
Yeah.
And then pulled it out through the back of her throat and then tied it and started like, twirling it through. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I guess this is
that's
tasteful.
everything.
I can't just like bring somebody on stage and like suck their dick.
It doesn't really work that way.
I feel like the straight people thing, it's like, don't go to the fucking, don't bring your 6-year-old, and that, like, there are family bookings,
There are
like, you can definitely
bookings, like
PSA to everyone out there.
Coming to a space at 12 a.m. You're probably not gonna get Barney and kids.
Yeah. Right? That's exactly
this is not
it.
Barney and Friends, girl.
I feel like people are exactly that way. Like, I laugh about the conversations about how kids shouldn't be going to drag shows. I don't think that's the case, but I definitely think that drag shows, when they're family friendly, like, they're so much fun. Like, I've been to so many family friendly shows. They're so fun.
Yeah.
And the kids have like a great time. Like, it's not a case of like they're just being brought there.
Love drag. Like I've done so many drag story hours, and it's so wild how easily kids connect with drag performers because, like, obviously, the glitz, the glam, the fairy tale fantasy, but like they're so smart, and they ask really smart questions. They know what's going on. We don't have to shelter them. Pardon me, whoa. We don't have to shelter them like they're children, even though they are. But like, I don't know, this whole debate and debacle around drag and kids, it's just like this old story rehashed over and over again, and at this point it's just fucking boring. Like, sorry, Christians, you're predictable.
Period.
That's exactly it, though.
Like,
period.
We've been through this before. Like, come up with a new line.
Yeah, exactly. So, we get through Call Me Mother. We have a new crop of people looking at you. What is next for Champagna?
Oh, funny you ask. I just sold a television show at the beginning of the pandemic, in the first wave of the pandemic, and I just wrapped a 5-week shoot on that. So
yes, okay.
Yeah, I was associate producing that and starring in it. So keep your eyes peeled for Womb Envy, a 12-episode series on Out TV this May.
Oh my god.
Come on, Out TV.
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited. Yeah, I can't wait.
So exciting.
It was so cool to film. Like, I've been working on this. I created this project like 13 years ago. So like, the fact that it's finally happened is so nice. And like, being on set for 5 weeks in full drag is a bit intense, but so much fun. Like, it was wild. It was wild.
Wait, you said it's called Womb Envy? Like,
yeah, totally. Like a womb.
Oh my god.
Like, I like how you had to do the womb.
Yeah, I'm like,
DJ, do you know what that is? Are you sure? Like,
yeah, I need the little buffering symbol up above my head, like
like anatomy.
Yeah, okay, I get it.
So it's about like this party gay approaching his 30s, and he's kind of like sick of the thumpa of the dance floor, and like his deviated septum, doesn't really have much direction in life. Relatable, right?
I know.
And when his estranged best friend from high school shows up on his doorstep and was like, hey, remember when I was your beard in high school? Well, now I'm pregnant, and I need you to play baby daddy while I try and figure out how to tell my born-again, in-recovery mother that I'm having a child out of wedlock. So
the drama.
The drama. It's hilarious.
It sounds awesome.
And then from his psyche of like putting down the gay, that sounds weird. Suppressing his gayness comes a fabulous drag.
The gay that's over 50.
Yeah, totally.
Our
Yeah,
Wi-Fi.
sincerest apologies. Like, oh my god.
Oh
No,
my
I don't
gosh.
care. It's all good.
Oh,
My
that
face
was,
is gonna go completely bright red. I'm so sorry.
that was really funny though.
I have my people on the other end.
It was like, what is happening? Like, come on, Wi-Fi, get with the program. We were in the middle of
We
a
really
really good
gotta
conversation.
Find a way around that girl.
Oh,
It's funny.
golly. Oh my
So
goodness.
sorry again. I'm not gonna
No,
stop saying
all
sorry.
good.
I'm just so
We're gonna keep
No, don't
apologizing
worry
because,
about it.
you know, Wi-Fi problems. Oh my gosh.
These things happen. Just go with the flow. It's all good.
Yes.
exactly.
But yes, you were telling us about the fabulous drag queen in your.
Oh yeah, that's pretty much the end. That was pretty much
Okay.
it.
There we
Just,
go.
yeah.
Awesome. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Can't give away too much. You gotta watch the series.
Yes, I'm
Yeah,
excited.
right.
I'm gonna watch. I'm so excited.
Me too.
Me too.
I'm so proud of myself, and like it was just so much fun to like turn out a bunch of looks and have like mostly full creative control of what was going on. It was so cool.
Yeah, super fun. Okay, so we're gonna end each interview with this one question because we think it's a really important question, especially for us.
Okay.
So we are both baby drag performers in our respective areas, and we want to know what advice do you have for people who are either wanting to try drag or who are baby performers?
Okay, first of all, what are your drag names?
You want to go, DJ?
Yeah, okay, so my drag name is Lilith. You can kind of see the wig in,
Yeah,
the,
the wig's
back.
in the back.
I don't know.
Oh,
Jesus is
no,
hanging out
I-
back there. Let her, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
anyways,
no,
my
that's
drag name
cute.
is Lilith.
Yeah,
Michaela.
Lilith what?
Just
Just
Lilith,
Lilith.
period.
period.
Oh, okay, wow.
And
The
then
original.
mine is Aria
Mhm.
Treble.
Aria Treble. Oh my god,
Yeah.
I live. Oh my god, are you a Game of Thrones fan? Is
I
that where
mean,
that comes from?
no, the reason that
What?
I mean, yes, but because Arya is my favorite character in Game of Thrones, but also because they're two music names, and music is very relatable to me. So
Oh, nice. Okay, great. So that's a wonderful segue. Like, my first piece of advice is to always connect from your center and from, like, what you know is true in the world. That is my first piece of advice for a drag performer, because I think, like, essentially drag, like, from a performer's, like, standpoint is, like, can be an extremely huge learning process and really cathartic process of what's going on in your life. And chances are, you know, most of the time, multiple other people in the world are going through exactly what you're going through or can relate on a universal basis of what you're going through. So if you bring that to your art, you're bound to affect people. Because I think ultimately that's what we do drag for, is to
Yeah.
make the world a better place. So that's my first piece of advice. Or maybe my only piece of advice. I don't know, just to you. Like, I think there's a lot of pressure, especially right now in this day and age with, like, Drag Race and all the other competitions popping up, that, like, we put this intense pressure on ourselves that, like, sometimes, not all the time, but, like, I'm sure it comes up with almost every drag performer that, like, your worthiness as a performer might get shaken a little bit because you haven't been on this TV show, because, like, society as a whole, while they're, like, catching up to drag and seeing it as, like, this valuable art form, they kind of use these, or I'm just going to use Drag Race, but, like, they kind of use Drag Race as their gauge.
It's definitely a
of
very
moving
good.
forward, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, don't involve yourself with that. If you want to get on the show, audition for it, but, like, if you're doing drag to get on a reality show, that's a mess of a situation waiting to happen. Like, do it for yourself. Create your
I'm just
art,
here for
learn the
exposure.
you know, like, totally. Drag is really, truly, madly, deeply, like, a limitless, like, a rule-less art form. So, do whatever you want, because, again, the mainstream will try, and also other drag performers will try and come for you and tell you that you're not doing X, Y, and Z, or you're not doing it this way or that way. And while that works great for them, what works great for you is totally something different.
Period.
You know?
Yeah, oh my god, I live. That was like a good, like, of, like, you know, it was very good. It was very well said, is what my brain is trying to put out of my mouth right now. That is all of the time we have for today. Here are your 5 minutes to just plug your socials. Where can we find you? Give us all of that.
Oh, great. Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram as Champagna_Pappy. Don't confuse me with Drake. Or do, I don't know, maybe after after like getting mistagged as a drag queen enough, I'll show up in like one of his music videos.
Get that bucket.
You can find me on TikTok at _Champagna_ and keep your eyes peeled this spring on LTV so you can see my show Womb Envy.
Period.
Awesome.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh my god.
Because I think Twitter is trash. So don't look for me on there.
So don't look on Twitter,
Also,
but you can
Facebook
find
is
everywhere else.
Yeah.
No
Yeah, Facebook
Facebook,
is
no
old.
Twitter.
Yeah.
I
Facebook is
agree.
bold. I saw this funny TikTok where somebody was like, "Oh wow!" Like they had seen like a Gen Z referring to the Facebook app, and this elder millennial was like, "Wow, that's wild because to us it was a website, and to like the younger generation it's an app."
It's an app,
And I
yeah.
just thought
It's an
that
app.
was funny.
All right. Thank you again so much for doing this interview with
Yes.
us, and we hope that
Yeah.
everything that you do in the future is going to be successful and super great for you.
Listen, girl, I'm Champagna. Everything I do is a success.
Yes.
Period.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's
Oh my
everything.
goodness. All
So
right.
good. Well, thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you
Thank
so
you for
much.
coming.
Yeah. Have a good one.
You
You
too.
too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.